Hi, Dr. Yass here. One of the primary reasons people tell me that they end up getting surgery such as fusions for the back or hip or knee replacement is because their family, their friends, their coworkers have all almost pushed them, incited them to get a surgery that was never needed, but because there's so much pressure on the person to get the surgery from these people, they feel compelled to get a surgery. This combined with the affirmation that the surgery is necessary, as indicated by the physician who basically diagnosed the cause of their pain from an x-ray or MRI and find a structural variation, is a very, very powerful type of influence over people. And if you ask most people who got surgery, even after it failed, did they think the surgery was going to work? In most cases, they would say no. They never were confident that the surgery was going to be successful. They simply got it because there was way too much pressure, too much influence being created on them from family, friends, and coworkers, along with the physician, and maybe they gotten a second, a third opinion, and that magical picture, the X-ray or MRI, was just too much to take, and they just accepted their fate and got a surgery that for most, it's amazing. Most people don't think the surgery is going to work. Just think about how insane this is. People, the vast majority of people get surgeries without ever really thinking that it's going to work. In most cases, it's simply bowing to pressure. And it's not to say that your friends, family, or coworkers are bad people or evil people. They've been coerced into thinking this is the proper path. And so when you've had sustained pain and dysfunction, and maybe you've tried medical types of treatments and you haven't gotten better, the ultimate deductive thought process for most people is, well, you've tried everything else. There is nothing else but surgery, so you might as well get the surgery. This is an absolutely insane methodology as to the justification for surgery. I have always said that those people who seek the Yass method against the advice of everybody else in their lives telling them they should get surgery, but that type of person who senses intuitively that what they're being told, especially through the medical system and the diagnostic test process, they feel compelled to go beyond that, beyond the pressure put on them by their family, friends, and coworkers, and to seek an alternative. These people, in my mind, can only be considered to be intuitive. They're sensing something doesn't make sense. And the shocking thing is that the vast majority of people who come and get the Yass method actually have said, when I am able to show them through the presentation of their symptoms, the literal presentation of the body telling me what tissue is in distress creating those symptoms, and it turns out in more than 98% of cases it's muscle, they actually say, I swear to God, I've always thought it was a muscular problem, but I couldn't get anybody else to acknowledge that. So thank you. Thank you for reaffirming my intuitive nature about what my situation is. All I can say to you is, if you see this video, please, please, if you're sensing that what you're being told doesn't make sense, if you're sensing that it doesn't sound like it can be structural, like people always tell me, it doesn't make sense. If it's structural, what is my pain increase or decrease? Why is it that when I sit and rest, I don't have pain, but if I do activity, I do have pain? Why is change of position an indication? How could that be an indication of a structural variation? All of these sound like they're muscular in nature. And yet you're going to be told, because muscular causes don't show up on diagnostic tests and there's no medical specialty educated or trained to identify them, that your cause is structural simply because a structural variation was identified on a diagnostic test at the time you're having pain. It's correlative theory, junk science. But it is the system, it is the way it works. So you get to see this video. You're saying to yourself, I don't buy what I'm being told. The more I listen to what this guy's saying, it sounds like it is muscular. Seek out the Yass method. You could do so by going to my website, livewithoutpains.com. Livewithoutpains.com. It'll be in the description of the video. You can actually go to the sessions page and schedule a Yass method Zoom session. The Yass method does not have to be obtained in person. It can be done by Zoom. You can pick the day and time that's most comfortable for you, and we could set that up and get you evaluated and establish if the cause of your pain is muscular. If it is, I'll show you the series of exercises to perform. You perform them under my supervision, and you now have a process to resolve the cause of your symptoms. And over time, not a very long time, you will be pain-free and fully functional, and you will be able to sustain that as long as you sustain the specific exercises that have been prescribed. If you have a question about the situation, your situation, you want to know if this makes sense, should you proceed with a Yass Method Zoom session, you could also email me at drmitch@mitchellyass.com, drmitch at mitchellyass.com. Again, that'll be in the description. I really don't know any other way to say that I feel horrible for those people who have ended up getting surgeries that failed, that if you had interpreted the symptoms, would have recognized the surgery was going to fail before you even had the surgery, but got the surgery because they were pressured by those that thought they were doing something good for the person, but inevitably was baseless because of the nature by which the diagnosis was provided to that person. These are kind-hearted, loving people. There is no question about it. They simply don't know what they don't know, and they have been fed a understanding that has been perpetuated over 40 years by the medical establishment. If you ask the average person, they think the MRI is valid when it is 100% baseless. Most people think the structural variations identified are the cause of pain, and therefore surgery is necessary. It's all contrived, all made up. The evidence is clear. You could go to my website, books, YouTube channel, all of it, and you could see that there is no clinical, theoretical, or scientific basis for the way pain is diagnosed and treated. Please, I beg you, if someone is telling you you need a surgery and you have family, friends, or coworkers trying to tell you better to get it now than later, it's time to commit, it's time to give in, please, please be strong. Be strong. If you intuitively sense that what you're being told doesn't make sense, get a Yass Method Zoom session. Get a physical evaluation. Understand the symptoms that the body is presenting to tell you what tissue is in distress, creating those very symptoms. You'll find out in more than 98% of cases it's muscle. A few exercises performed 3 times a week over a few weeks or a month or two, you'll be pain-free and fully functional, and you will thank me for having the courage, and I thank you for having the courage to go outside the system and to take on that pressure and say no is extremely, extremely courageous. And I literally thank every single person who gets the Yass method and tell them you are the strongest people that I know. So if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like my YouTube channel, Dr. Mitchell Yass, please subscribe to get notifications when new videos are added. For now, this is Dr. Mitchell Yass, wishing you a pain-free, fully functional life. Bye-bye for now.